I was unemployed for almost 4 months, so when I saw a job offering $800 a night for a security guard position, I didn't ask too many questions. The interview lasted less than 5 minutes. The manager never asked about my experience. He only asked one question. "Can you follow instructions exactly?" I said yes. He handed me a flashlight, a set of keys, and a sheet of paper titled Night Shift Rules. I thought it was a joke, until rule number 7 saved my life. My name is Noah. At 26, I was desperate. Rent was overdue. My savings were gone, and every job application I'd sent had been rejected. Then one afternoon, I found an online listing. Night security guard pay, $800 per shift, no experience required. Start immediately. It sounded too good to be true. It probably was. The building sat on the edge of town, an old government archive that had been closed to the public for years. The parking lot was empty. No signs, no logo, just a gray concrete building surrounded by a tall chain-link fence. Inside, I met the manager, a man in his 60s named Mr. Harlan. He didn't ask for my resume. He didn't ask about my qualifications. Instead, he looked me straight in the eyes and asked, "Can you follow written instructions without questioning them?" I laughed. "I guess." He didn't. Wrong answer. He slid a blank contract across the desk. "If you work here, you never guess. You either follow the rules, or you don't come back." I should have left. Instead, I signed. At exactly 10 o'clock p.m., Mr. Harlan handed me 3 things: a flashlight, a ring of old brass keys, and a folded sheet of paper. Across the top, someone had typed, "Night Shift Rules." I unfolded it. The first few rules seemed normal. Rule 1, lock the main entrance at exactly 10:15 p.m. Rule 2, never leave the security office between 1 o'clock and 1:15 am. Okay. Weird. Then the rules became stranger. Rule 3, if you hear a phone ringing on the 3rd floor, do not answer it. There are no phones on the 3rd floor. I frowned. Mr. Harlan noticed. Keep reading. Rule 4, if someone knocks on the front entrance after midnight, ignore them. Even if they know your name. A nervous laugh escaped me. "This is some kind of prank, right?" Mr. Harlan slowly shook his head. "No," I continued. Rule 5, at exactly 2:30 am, you'll hear footsteps in hallway C. Do not investigate. The footsteps will stop on their own. My smile disappeared. Rule 6, if you see a woman in a white coat asking for archive room 12, do not speak to her. She doesn't work here. I looked up. "This isn't funny." Mr. Harlan leaned closer. "I'm not trying to be funny." Then I reached. Rule 7, my stomach tightened. If the security cameras all go black at the same time, hide under your desk immediately. Do not look outside the office until exactly 60 seconds have passed. No matter what you hear, I stared at him. "What happens if I don't?" For the first time, Mr. Harlan smiled. It wasn't comforting. It was the smile of someone who'd seen people make that mistake before. "I hope you never find out." At 10:15 p.m., I locked the main entrance. The building fell completely silent. By midnight, nothing unusual had happened. I started believing the rules were just part of some bizarre training exercise. Then, at exactly 12:41 am, the phone on my desk rang. Once, twice, 3 times, the caller ID displayed. 3rd floor. I stared at the screen. There wasn't supposed to be a phone on the 3rd floor. The ringing stopped by itself. I laughed nervously. Cute. At 1 o'clock am, I stayed inside the security office exactly as Rule 2 instructed. Nothing happened. By 2:28 am, I was convinced the entire rule sheet was fake. Then, right on schedule, I heard footsteps, slow, heavy, echoing down hallway C exactly where Rule 5 said they would be. They continued for almost 2 minutes, then stopped. Every word on the list had been right. My hands started shaking. At 2:47 am, the security monitors suddenly flickered. One by one, every camera feed disappeared. Black. Black, 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 until every screen in front of me showed only static. My heart stopped. Rule 7, without thinking, I dropped beneath the desk. The room became completely silent. Then, something began walking outside the office door. Not footsteps, more like bare feet dragging slowly across the floor. It stopped directly outside my office. Then I heard a voice, soft, calm, friendly. "Noah." It knew my name. I covered my mouth. The voice laughed quietly. Then it changed. It became Mr. Harlan's voice. "You can come out now." I didn't move. 30 seconds, 40, 50. The office door slowly creaked open. I could hear something breathing just a few feet away. Then, my phone timer reached 60 seconds. The breathing stopped. Silence. I slowly stood up. The cameras came back online. Everything looked normal, except camera 14. Hallway C. Someone was standing outside my office, staring directly into the camera. The image was blurry, but I could still make out one horrifying detail. The figure was wearing my security uniform. My heart pounded. I stared at camera 14. The figure hadn't moved. He was standing perfectly still outside my office, wearing my security uniform, my name tag, even the same flashlight clipped to his belt. The only thing I couldn't see was his face. It was hidden beneath the shadow of his cap. The radio crackled again. "Noah," Mr. Harlan's voice was barely audible. "Turn off camera 14. "What? Now?" Without thinking, I pressed the button. The screen went black for a few seconds. Nothing happened then. A loud knock echoed from the office door. Knock, knock, knock. I froze. Rule number 4 flashed through my mind. If someone knocks after midnight, ignore them. The knocking stopped. A calm voice spoke from the hallway. "Hey, Noah, it's me. Open the door." It sounded exactly like the security guard who had trained me earlier that evening, except he had gone home hours ago. I stayed silent. The voice sighed. "Good, you remembered the rule." Then it laughed. The sound slowly changed. Deeper, slower, less. Human footsteps dragged away down the hallway. Only then did I breathe again. My phone buzzed. An unknown number. Rule number 8. I frowned. There were only 7 rules. Another message appeared. Check the back of the paper. My hands shook as I flipped the rule sheet over. There was writing on the back, handwritten, not typed. The ink looked old. Rule number 8. If you ever see someone wearing your uniform, never let them see your face. Rule number 9. If they already have, go to archive room 12 before 3 o'clock a.m. Rule number 10. Whatever is inside archive room 12. Do not unlock the second door. I checked my watch. 2:53 a.m. 7 minutes left. I grabbed my flashlight and keys. The hallway outside was empty. Camera 14 had shown someone standing there only moments earlier. Now, nothing. The building felt colder than before. As I hurried toward archive room 12, every light in the hallway flickered, one by one, until only my flashlight remained. I reached the heavy steel door. A faded metal sign read, Archive Room 12. The key fit perfectly. The lock clicked open. Inside, rows of old filing cabinets stretched into darkness. Dust covered everything. The room hadn't been touched in years. At the far end, there was another door, smaller, black, no handle, just a tiny viewing window, taped to the glass, was another note. It read, if you're reading this, you're already too late. A sudden sound echoed behind me, footsteps, slow, deliberate. I turned my flashlight toward the entrance. Someone was standing there, my uniform, my boots, my flashlight, my height. He slowly stepped into the light. My blood turned to ice. It wasn't someone dressed like me. It was me. Every detail was identical, except for one thing. He had no eyes, just 2 empty black holes. He smiled and spoke in my voice. You shouldn't have come. I stumbled backward until my back hit the black door. The copy of me tilted his head, then quietly said, I only need one thing. What? He pointed directly at my face. Yours, before I could react. The black door behind me unlocked by itself. Click, it slowly creaked open, something inside. Breathed. The copy of me stopped smiling for the first time. It looked afraid. Another one escaped again. The deep voice echoed through archive room 12. The copy of me immediately stepped backward, for the first time since I'd seen it. It looked terrified. The black door slowly opened wider. Cold air poured into the archive room. It smelled like old paper and rain. I pointed my flashlight into the darkness. At first, I saw nothing. Then a man slowly stepped out. He looked to be in his 70s, gray suit, white gloves, round glasses. He carried a thick leather folder under one arm. He didn't look like a monster. He looked like an old librarian. The copy of me hissed, actually hissed, like an animal cornered by a predator. The old man ignored it. Instead, he looked at me. You must be Noah. I nodded. Good. You're still alive. What is that thing? He glanced at my duplicate. An echo. An echo. It copies people. It learns their voice, their habits, their memories, and eventually, it replaces them. I remembered rule number 8. Never let them see your face. It wasn't about being recognized. It was about being copied. The old man opened his leather folder. Inside were dozens of employee files. Each one had a photograph attached. Every face had the word replaced stamped across it in red ink. My stomach turned. How many? He looked down. 43. I swallowed hard. 43 guards, he nodded. Since 1989. The echo suddenly spoke, using my exact voice. He's lying. The old man didn't even look at it. They always say that. The echo smiled. Ask him why the rules keep changing. I frowned. What? The old man sighed. Because they learn. Every time an echo succeeds. We write new rules. They adapt. So do we. That explained everything. Rule number 8, rule number 9, rule number 10. They weren't random. They were written after someone had already died. The old man reached into his pocket and handed me a silver whistle. If it touches you, blow this. What does it do? You'll find out. The echo laughed. You really trust him? It slowly transformed. Its face shifted. First, it became Mr. Harlan, then the security guard who trained me, then my father. My breath caught in my throat. My father had died when I was 16. The echo smiled with his face. Noah, it's okay. Come here. Every emotion inside me screamed to believe it. The old man slapped the whistle into my hand. Don't listen. The echo took another step. Tears formed in its eyes, perfectly copying my father's expression. I'm proud of you. I never got to tell you that. I nearly broke. Then, I noticed something. My father always wore his wedding ring on his right hand. The echo wore it on the left. One tiny mistake. One impossible detail. It wasn't him. I raised the whistle and blew as hard as I could. No sound came out, at least none that I could hear. The echo screamed. It clutched its head and stumbled backward. Its body flickered. Faces appeared one after another. Children, women, old men, security guards, dozens of stolen identities, all trapped inside it. The old man grabbed my arm. Run! We sprinted through the archive room. The echo followed. Its footsteps echoed through the hallway. Fast, too fast. We burst into the security office. The old man locked the door. Then he looked at the clock. 3:33 a.m. His face went pale. We're late. What happens at 3:33? He slowly looked toward the security monitors. Every screen showed the same image. Every hallway, every staircase, every entrance, hundreds. No, thousands. Of people wearing security uniforms, all standing perfectly still. Every single one of them had my face. The office radio crackled. Mr. Harlan's voice came through, except he sounded exhausted. Noah, if you can hear me, I'm sorry. I hired you because I couldn't do this anymore. Before I could answer, the building lights shut off. Emergency lights bathed the hallways in deep red. The radio hissed with static. Then a computerized announcement echoed through the building. Containment failure. All echoes released. The old man closed his eyes. They've never all escaped before. A loud metallic slam shook the entire building. The reinforced doors throughout the archive unlocked simultaneously. The security monitors went black. My phone buzzed. An unknown number, one final message. Go to the roof. I looked at the old man. Who keeps sending these? For the first time all night, he looked genuinely confused. I thought it was you. I frowned. What? He slowly shook his head. I've been receiving those same messages for the last 30 years. Hundreds of faces stared back at me. Every single one. Mine. The parking lot was filled with echoes. None of them blinked. None of them moved. They simply waited. The old man grabbed my arm. The roof, now. We sprinted up the emergency stairwell. Every floor echoed with footsteps. Not ours, theirs, by the time we reached the rooftop. The first rays of sunrise were beginning to appear on the horizon. The old man looked relieved. They're running out of time. What do you mean? They can't survive direct sunlight. Almost immediately. The rooftop door burst open. 3 echoes stepped outside. Each one wore my face, but as the sunlight touched their skin, cracks spread across their bodies. They froze, then turned into gray dust. Within seconds, the rest of the footsteps below stopped. Silence. The old man smiled for the first time. We made it. I finally asked the question that had haunted me all night. What is this place? He looked across the endless rows of government buildings. This was never an archive. It was a containment facility. For decades, people believed the echoes could only copy voices. They were wrong. They copy identities, if even one escapes into the world. The real person slowly disappears. Friends forget them. Family stops remembering them. Official records change. It's as if they never existed. A chill ran down my spine. So the rules were written to stop them, he nodded. Every rule was paid for with someone's life. My phone vibrated one final time. Unknown number. Go to the control room. The old man frowned. There shouldn't be any power left. We went back inside. The emergency lights were still glowing red. The building felt empty, no footsteps, no whispers, no echoes. We reached a steel door labeled control room inside. There was only one desk, one computer, and one chair. The monitor was already on. Across the screen appeared a live video feed. It showed me. Standing in the room, not a recording. Live. Then another window opened. It showed the same room. From a different angle, then another, and another. Hundreds of camera feeds. Everyone showed a different version of me. Older, younger, different clothes, different years. The old man whispered, oh, he finally understood. So did I the messages. The rules, everything. They never came from the building. They came from us. The computer speakers crackled. Then a familiar voice filled the room, my own, but much older. If you're hearing this, it means you survived. The screen changed. An older version of me appeared. Gray hair, tired eyes, the same scar on my chin. He smiled. I've been sending you messages for 28 years. My mind couldn't process it. You're not talking to the past, he continued. You're talking across timelines. In most timelines, the echoes escaped. Billions disappeared. This, he looked directly into the camera, is the only one where you followed the rules. The old man slowly removed his glasses. He was crying, so that's why. The messages always arrived before something happened. The older me nodded. We built a system. Whenever one timeline failed, the survivors warned another. He smiled one last time. You don't need more rules. You only need one. The screen displayed a single sentence. When fear tells you to stop thinking, think. When curiosity tells you to ignore every warning, don't. The video ended. The monitor shut off. The building lights came back on, outside. The sun filled the sky. The old man quietly placed a small brass key on the desk. My job is finished. What happens now? He smiled. You become the next caretaker. I looked around the empty control room. The radios were silent. The security monitors showed ordinary hallways. No echoes, no strange figures, nothing. 6 months later, the government officially demolished the building. New apartments were built on the land. No one remembers what stood there before. Mr. Harlan retired. The old man disappeared without leaving a name. As for me, I still work nights, just not there. Sometimes. Around 2:47 a.m. my phone lights up. No caller ID, no number, just one message, always the same. Thank you for following the rules. I never reply. Because I already know who's sending them. And if one day you ever start a new job, and someone hands you a list of strange rules, don't laugh, don't roll your eyes, and whatever you do, follow every single one because somewhere, someone may have already died, writing the next rule that saves your life.